Video games have come a long way, from colorful blocks of pixels that sparked our imagination to breathtaking worlds that almost look real. The evolution of game graphics tells the story of how technology and art pushed each other to the edge. Today, we're diving deep into that journey, from the humble 8-bit beginnings all the way to photorealism powered by ray tracing and AI. Our story starts in the late 1970s and the early 80s when pixels ruled the world. Back then, developers had barely any memory to work with. Every pixel mattered, every color was precious. Consoles like the Atari 2600 and the NES could only display a handful of colors at once. Games like Space Invaders, Pac-Man, and Donkey Kong use clever tricks to give the illusion of depth and motion, all from just a few bytes of code. These limitations forced creativity. Artists had to design characters using nothing but a few pixels. Think of Mario, Link, or Mega Man. Despite the simplicity, these tiny sprites became icons of gaming, and they showed us something important. Even minimal visuals could create powerful worlds if the imagination of the developers was strong enough. As the 80s ended, the jump to 16-bit brought richer colors, smoother animation, and bigger worlds. Consoles like the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis made games more cinematic. Super Metroid, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Street Fighter II pushed 2D art to its limits, with parallax scrolling, layered backgrounds, and detailed sprites that still hold up today. But in the 90s, everything changed. Developers started to explore 3D graphics, a completely new frontier. Early attempts like Star Fox on the SNES or Virtua Fighter in arcades showed what was possible. Then came the PlayStation and Nintendo 64, the first mainstream 3D consoles. Games like Super Mario 64, Tomb Raider, and Final Fantasy VII revolutionized game design. For the first time, players could explore fully 3D environments. It wasn't smooth or realistic yet. Textures were blurry, models were blocky, but the foundation of modern gaming were born. The early 2000s marked the era of realism. Hardware had caught up, and developers began to chase lifelike visuals. The PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube brought smooth textures, real lighting, and cinematic storytelling. Games like Metal Gear Solid 2, Halo Combat Evolved, and Resident Evil 4 set new benchmarks for immersion. The introduction of bump mapping, dynamic shadows, and higher polygon counts made environments feel alive. PC gaming was also exploding, with GPUs like NVIDIA's GeForce 3 and ATI's Radeon 9700. Developers unlocked effects like anti-aliasing and programmable shaders. Suddenly, water rippled, faces had expressions, and explosions looked cinematic. The gap between games and movies began to blur. When the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 arrived, we entered the HD era, where every texture and frame mattered. Games like Crysis, Uncharted 2, and GTA 4 showed what could happen when developers fully embraced advanced lighting, normal maps, and physics engines. Crysis, in particular, became a legend, a game so demanding that it became the ultimate PC benchmark. This was also the golden age of game engines. Unreal Engine 3, CryEngine, and Source gave developers tools to create beautiful worlds faster than ever. For the first time, game graphics weren't just about power, they were about artistry, atmosphere, and emotion. Games became cinematic experiences. Then came the leap to true photorealism. With the PS4, Xbox One, and modern PCs, graphics entered a new dimension. Engines like Unreal Engine 4 and Frostbite delivered lifelike lighting, realistic motion, and advanced shaders. Games like The Last of Us Part 2, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Cyberpunk 2077 blurred the line between digital and reality. Ray tracing, once used only in Hollywood films, made its way to consumer hardware with Nvidia's RTX series. Suddenly, reflections, shadows, and ambient lighting behave exactly as they would in the real world. Today's GPUs handle billions of calculations per second to simulate every photon, every ripple of light, but visuals aren't just about realism anymore. Stylized games like Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse, or Fortnite prove that art direction can matter more than photorealism. Technology gives artists the freedom to express, not just impress. So, where do we go from here? The next generation of graphics is powered not just by hardware, but by intelligence. AI-driven upscaling, like DLSS and FSR, use neural networks to render high-quality frames with less processing power. Procedural generation creates infinite worlds with minimal output, and real-time photogrammetry allows developers to scan the real world directly into the game. UE5's nanite and lumen systems are redefining detail and lighting once again, creating environments that are virtually indistinguishable from reality. But as we reach the peak of realism, the question becomes, what's next? Perhaps the future isn't just about graphics that looks real, but worlds that feel real. From blocky pixels to living, breathing worlds, game graphics have evolved faster than almost any other medium in history. Each leap wasn't just about better visuals, it was about deeper storytelling, immersion, and creativity. As technology keeps pushing forward, one thing's certain, the future of games will not just be seen, it'll be felt. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the evolution of graphics, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment on which era of game graphics was your favorite.